In this video, I'll be unboxing and taking apart the Carpuride 7-inch CarPlay device. If you're interested in seeing more videos like this, make sure you subscribe and follow me on Twitter so you'll be notified once I upload a new video. And if you need any tools, there are links in the description. Here's a better look at the 7-inch CarPlay device. On the left side of the device, there's a 12-volt power jack, a USB port, an auxiliary jack, a camera jack, for which you can plug in a rear view camera, a micro SD slot, as well as a microphone jack. Here's the stand or holder to place on your windshield or dash. Here's a 12-volt power supply or cable for the car. Here's another stand or mount for the car, and this is more of a permanent mount in case you want to screw it down somewhere, or use the double-sided adhesive on the bottom. There's another pad with adhesive provided. An auxiliary cable, and I believe some more mounting hardware. And here's the manual. Now moving on to the disassembly. There are 4 Phillips screws on the back which need to be removed. Once the screws have been removed, we need to use a plastic pry tool to run it along the edges of the housing and pop the catches off. These 3 flex cables, as well as this red and black cable, need to be disconnected from the main board. The latches or locks for the flex cable connectors need to be lifted up in order to release those cables. The red and black cable connect the microphone to the main board. There are 3 Phillips screws holding down the controller board to the screen assembly. There are 5 LED lights for the navigational keys on the front. If you needed to replace the screen, there are only 4 catches holding it in place to the assembly. All you would have to do is bypass those 4 catches by pulling them back and pulling the screen off. There's no adhesive or glue holding it down, so replacing the screen on this device is fairly easy. As for the touchscreen glass itself, it's held to the frame with some adhesive, so you can just heat it up and pry it off. But you would need to first take apart the device in order to disconnect the flex cable for it. There's a copper cable over here soldered to the main board, which if I'm not mistaken is connected to the FM receiver or an antenna, and that's going to have to be desoldered first from the main board before we'd be able to remove that. The cable for the speaker can be disconnected by wiggling it and pulling it out. There are 4 Phillips screws holding down the main board. This black coaxial cable needs to be disconnected from the main board by just popping it off. And that coaxial cable is connected to another antenna. Looking at the main board, we can see this heatsink which is seated on top of the processor to help transfer heat. There are two physical button clickers over here, as well as the jacks on this side, the USB port, and the micro SD slot. Overall, taking this device apart is easy, so making repairs on the screen won't be difficult. However, since everything else on the board is soldered down, like the power jack, USB port, and other jacks, replacing those would require soldering knowledge, so those won't be that easy to replace. For the repairability score, I give it a 6.5 out of 10. Now I'm going to reassemble the device. Once everything's back in place, you're done. If you're interested in purchasing one of these Carpuride CarPlay devices, I'll place a link in the description. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I'll see you in the next one.